Good evening, Rabbi. I thought you were going to the bar mitzvah. Oh, tomorrow.
The bar mitzvah is tomorrow morning, and my grandson happens to be in Brooklyn, so he would take me.
Oh, Mazel Tov.
Take me about the end of our class.
Okay, fantastic.
This week we read a double parsha, both parshiyot are loaded parshiyot, Parshat Acharei Mot and Parshat Kedoshim. The first half, a third of the parsha, is about the avodah of Yom Kippur. Look a second, we're not going to. We're just going to go over the Pesukim, not go into it, but listen carefully. The Kohen Gadol has here a double mission. One is to atone for himself, his wife and kids. One, to atone for all the Kohanim. Then you have a Korban that he, the Kohen, and the Jewish people, and the Kohanim are having a kapara. This is the Sa'ir, this is the goat. The Kohen Gadol is going into Kodesh HaKodashim once to sprinkle the blood of the bull, one to sprinkle the blood of the goat. He's going in again to offer the ketoret. Then he's going in again to remove the empty vessels of the ketoret. Now, the Gemara tells us in Masechet Yubah something really fascinating, that the Kohen Gadol was not staying too long in Kodesh HaKodashim, because it's a high voltage type of a place. But the Gemara says in Masechet Yuma that he was praying there tefillah ktsara, short prayers. What did he pray? The Ashkenazim, we have it in the Machzor. I think Sfaradim have it too. He prays that people that live in certain areas in Israel should not have earthquakes. Fine, we understand that. He was praying that the dynasty of Rabban Gamliel of the Nesiim should continue, should be protected, we understand. But the third is about Pele. The third is Al Tfilatam Shel Ovrei Derachim Shelo Titkaber. What does it mean? People who are stranded. Today we have umbrellas, today we have raincoats, we have cars. People used to travel hundreds of miles. You are stranded in the rain. What do? You're praying to Hashem to stop the rain. Here it is. So the Kohen Gadol in the Holy of Holies, Kodesh HaKodashim, is praying that Hashem should not accept the prayer. I mean, this is the Holy of Holies. This Yom Kippur is the Kohen Gadol. He has to pray that the prayers should not be accepted. If you think about it, it's a Pele Gadol. We're talking about individuals. And rain is something the country needs. So it was a מאוד מעניין. So the great commentators, those who really deal with real Avodat Hashem, say only men that can stop the prayers of these people is the Kohen Gadol. Why? Remember, everything that we, and our prayers are definitely sincere many times, very often, or sometimes. If a man is stranded and the rain is coming in buckets and there's no way around, and he prays, this is a real prayer without any other reasons, which means the power of tefillah that comes sincerely from a Jewish heart without any other ulterior motives, nothing can block it. Just the Kohen Gadol in Yom Kippur.
But it's also interesting that he has this very similar, when he finishes and he goes out, he deals with Mezig Avir also.
Yes.
It's fascinating that he has Shaloyu Bateim Kivreim.
Yeah, Bateim Kivreim is Anshe Sharon.
Right, sure.
Yeah, because people that lived over there had many times.
But it's a beautiful tefillah because he says what? Shchuna im.
Yeah. Because, okay, in the Ashkenazic Machzorim, we have a lot of, but this is the point. The point is, the biblical Israel is an agriculture type of a country. The rain and the seasons are vital for the survival of the people. And this is exactly what the Kohen Gadol is praying for in Yom Kippur, is on behalf of those people. But to show you the power of prayers of individuals, which means without the Kohen Gadol, we cannot block it. Very similar to that. Everyone connects the two is
Moshe with the eagle.
And the mothers of the Kohanim Gedolim used to send packages of soda and some cake to who? To murderers in the Ir Miklat. They should not pray that the children, Kohanim Gedolim, should die. Now, why in the world would the tefillah of a murderer? Remember, this is a murderer that was sentenced by the court. It's not he went on his own. The court had this case. You are a shoger, go. Why would his tefillah do anything that the mothers have to? It's exactly the same point. Real tefillah is when a man feels really desperate, and the only one can help him is Hashem. The same as before, a man who is stranded and the rain is coming in buckets and he has no way to go. When he prays sincerely. Fellow is a father of few kids. Has a job, a social life. Overnight, he's out. He doesn't know how many years. The only chance he has is if the Kohen Gadol dies. So even though the Kohanim Gedolim most of the times were good people, the tefillah of this type of a fellow, if it comes from the bottom of the heart, can affect. The mothers, however, send them packages.
Rabbi,
Yes.
didn't Moshe pray that Hashem shouldn't listen to Korach's tefillah, or if I'm not mistaken?
Right, so what exactly is your question, Daniel?
I'm,
What's your question?
I'm saying that this is another instance where somebody was praying against someone else's tefillah,
Yeah, but over there,
and it's different.
if you remember the pasuk, Daniel, the tefillah is al teifen el minchatam. Minchatam. They didn't pray, but they offered ketoret. Since ketoret is so powerful, for good or bad. So when Hashem, when I'm telling you is the pasuk, Moshe is praying to Hashem, al teifen el minchatam, don't accept the korbanot that they bring. You remember the 250 Nesiim offered ketoret. This is a very powerful, remember, this is a legal ketoret, not Nadav Avihu. So this is why Moshe had to pray that the ketoret, not only, now I'm adding you something, not only the ketoret of the 250, ketoret is a korban tzibur. He's praying that the share that every Jew has in korban tamid or the ketoret, their share should not be counted. But over there, it's an extreme case. Why? Because all the commentators wonder anyway, why is Moshe Rabbeinu, coming with such a strong, serious punishment? The answer is they didn't argue with him. They're basically shaking the foundations of Torah Sinai. If what you claim is correct and I appointed on my own, so perhaps the Torah that I gave is my own, yes? So everything I'm teaching here for many years is incorrect. So this is why. Here we're talking about an individual, let the man be wet. Everyone in the Galil needs water. Everyone in the Negev needs water. So 3 people are stranded. Murderers are, the answer is, regardless if the tefillah is a real tefillah, another point to remember here, which is באמת מעניין מאוד מאוד, it says later that the Kohen Gadol, is sending one goat, the designated man, to a special, to the Azazel, and he's, okay, what exactly is the type of a korban? Is a big problem. The Rishonim, but the Ramban says whatever he says, difficult to understand, fine. Now, think for a minute. When the Kohen Gadol, excuse me half a second. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you after your body.
Okay.
So after my, what's the time now?
6 minutes, 8 minutes different.
Perfect. The Mishnayot are telling us that after Kohen Gadol completed his avodah for Yom Kippur, which means he offered all the korbanot, he used to take out his own Sefer Torah and read. I mean, imagine thousands of people came, and after he finished reading, many private people brought their Sefer Torah before. I mean, imagine Yom Kippur in Beit HaMikdash, celebrating together with the Kohen Gadol after. And here is one single man, walking with a goat, 8 miles, 12 miles. The Gemara, the Mishnah says, Miyakirei Yerushalayim.
Mhm.
The noble people of Yerushalayim used to walk with him, to keep him company. And along the way, they used to have special huts filled up with drinks and food. And they used to tell him, just in case you feel that you cannot make it, it's a fast day. So they used to accompany him till the last sukkah. And then they saw how he's pushing the fine. This title, Yakirei Yerushalayim, is in the Mishnah. Israel today, the government, the municipality of Jerusalem has the highest award you can get is Yakir Yerushalayim. Yakir is Milashon Yakar. Why are these people getting this title? Rabbi Sachs, not Rabbi Sachs from England, Rabbi Sachs in Israel said something fascinating. Everyone likes to be in Beit HaMikdash at that time, to celebrate with the Kohen Gadol, joyous moments and hours. Remember the spiritual environment. And here are a few people that say, but there is an individual here, has to walk alone. Sometimes the weather is not perfect, alone with a goat. We are giving up our inner desire to be in the Beit HaMikdash in order to accompany him. Those are the people who get the title, you hear? Yakirei Yerushalayim. This is a lesson to life, guys. We are real people in the real world. What are they doing? They're just going out there, going with a man. But to make sure that the man is not alone, you walk on the day that you're fasting, you're hungry and thirsty, and you can be in the area of Beit HaMikdash in the highest levels of spirituality. Now, I'm thinking about him. This is Yakirei Yerushalayim. Interestingly enough, in Parashat Acharei Mot, the first topic that the Torah is discussing after Yom Kippur is the Isur that the Torah labels Shchutei Chutz. Shchutei Chutz means if you have let's call it 646, it's Perek Zion, it's Ish Mebeit Yisrael Asher Ishchat Shor Kesev Hamachane or Michutz Hamachane. This is called Shchutei Chutz or Hakravat Chutz, and this is Karet. Why is it the first topic after Yom Kippur? Because if you think about it, as I mentioned before, the fact that the Jewish people is the only time we have a Beit HaMikdash. We're taking a goat, L'Azazel. I mean, the Ramban says obviously there are deep kavanot there, but the reality is for the naked eye, it is very strange that we are offering a korban, so to say, outside the Beit HaMikdash. And Yom Kippur is a day that everyone is observing, and maybe I can do it too. Maybe I can bring a korban. If I really feel and I live at Tzfat and I cannot really make it, the Torah right away says this phono find it necessary to tell us it's correct. Okay, the next big topic which occupies is the forbidden relationships. We did already this week together the Ramban, but basically the Torah is giving us a list of all the forbidden relationships. Your mother, sister, your sister-in-law, your daughter-in-law, etc., etc. But the Torah says that because this type of behavior, yes, because this type of behavior, the Torah says, I expel the Knaanim from Eretz Israel, yes. The Ramban wonders the Isur of forbidden relationships has nothing to do with the land. The Isur of forbidden relationships has to do everywhere in the world. Why is it written here? And the Torah again and again repeats it here in Parashat Kedoshim. Says the Ramban, forbidden relationships are Asur everywhere. But Eretz Israel is like disobeying the king in his own palace. So the Kedusha of Eretz Israel is such that every type of Averah multiplies many times, and especially this type of Averot, which are the Torah describes as abomination. Of course, the same Ramban says,
But why do we read it on Yom Kippur?
זה שאלה קשה מאוד.
I mean, of all the things, that's the
And I agree. He's asking more than he's asking on Mincha and Yom Kippur. So believe it or not, the Rambam, in like half a line, says that the real big question is you're doing it already by the end of Yom Kippur, yeah? But if you remember, we saw the Rambam more than once. The Rambam says, Ein lecha ka'ar ve'ida mi'Yisrael. There isn't any Jewish community that aren't men or women that are sinning, and which means the Torah recognizes the inner desires of human being. And the Torah says to a human being, we prayed arbit already, Hashamnu al chet, shachrit. It's the end of the day. Think about it. Now, the Chokhmah, of course, is to realize that it's lav dafka if you're doing it. If a person has desires and he has difficulties, he has to recognize it first. There's nothing wrong in having desires or even doing it, but as long as you are repenting. And because this is a big part of us being human beings,
So,
the Rambam talks about it in Yom Kippur.
Thought about this a couple of years ago, and it just came to me when Larry asked the question. It's when you're in Yom Kippur, you're almost like you're in an elevated state where you're supposed to be like Melachim, right? So you don't eat. You could think that the only way you could become Kadosh is when you go to this elevated state, and then you lose your humanity part because you're not eating, but you have to eat because you're human. So we read this parasha is if you at the end of all these the arayot, it says, why should you be kikadosh ani, right? Like you should be kodesh kikadosh ani. And how do you be kodesh? Is by going away from arayot, going away from the things that are allowed to us in some way, but we have to restrict, I guess, based on what the halachot is. It's more bringing it down that as a human and using your human, separating from some of the stuff, not all the stuff, makes you kadosh rather than fasting.
יפה מאוד. But the Gemara learns out from this psukim, listen to this. When a person is very careful not to do, it is ישב אדם ולא עבר עבירה, מעלה עליו הכתוב כאילו עשה מצווה. No one can tell it to me when it comes to a cheeseburger because I'm not decided to cheeseburger. But the Gemara learns it out from a pasuk here. I forget. Let me see if I can remember the pasuk. רק רגע.
So, Rabbi Mehila, according.
Half a second.
Thank you.
I cannot remember the pasuk, but here's the point. The Gemara says anyone that has a desire to do anything bad, especially forbidden relationships, and in our society it's much more difficult because of the society. If a person is not doing it, it counts. And if he did mitzvah, it's a tremendous reward. You understand? No one has to give me a reward for not eating pork. I have no desire for pork.
So that's like
Yeah.
in Hilchot Tshuva when he says that the biggest reward is for someone who
Exactly. The Rambam wants to bring a good example of real tshuva, so the Rambam is using that. A man had a relationship with a woman that is forbidden, and he's still strong and she's still after him. And he says, no, this is the Shuvah Gemura.
Right.
But the Torah is very realistic. And you can see it. I mean, the advertising industry knows it, yes? We are bombarded wherever you go with sexuality, but this is exactly the point.
So I think the real question here is how do you really define what the term kadosh is? So I think we did this a couple of years ago. The word for in the Torah kedesha is the same word as kadosh. It's using the same shortish.
Right, but it's the opposite, yeah, of course.
And it's exactly the opposite realm. It's you separate yourself. I think is the
I'll tell you the way the Malbim. I saw the Malbim yesterday. The Malbim really has here an essay, because the Malbim is talking about the pasuk. Look, Kedoshim tiyu, ki kadosh ani Hashem Elokechem. If you look in Torah Kohanim, the Torah Kohanim says, Yachol kamoni, maybe you can reach, Shem says, my level, ki kadosh ani. Says the Malbim as follows. The Torah is talking to average human beings. Kedoshim tiyu. Says the Malbim, the Torah is telling us, if we are acting normally, Tefillin, Shabbat, Chesed, Torah, etc., Hashem is running the world the way we used to. But the minute הוא אומר שהמילה קדוש זה מופרש.
That's Rashi's right away, Rashi.
Correct. Every morning, Salim, אתה גיבור לעולם השם, מחיי מתים, רב להושיע, סומך מפלים. You talk to Hashem as if it's your body, as ברוך אתה השם מחיי המתים, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש. Even though I related to you as a human being, but you're really above us. Says the Malbim, Kedoshim tiyu means if we are able to control our desires and to elevate ourselves to higher levels, I am going to treat you, the Jewish people, on a much different level. Look, any way you look at it, and as much as we hate what goes on with Iran, but you have to be a fool not to label it as a mess. There were hundreds and hundreds of missiles. Only saw one missile hit directly. How many people died? And imagine big apartment buildings, nothing happens. says the Marbim Kedoshim Tiyu Ki Kadosh Ani, the Lashon of the Sifri Salim, אם אתם מקדשים עצמכם מעט, אני מקדש אתכם הרבה, which means if we collectively are able to elevate ourselves to a different level, Hashem says, I would treat you on a much different level. In the time of the Hashmonaim, a group of people today certainly are willing to do much more than the above and normal. Hashem, so המילה קדוש זה למעלה. קדושים תהיו, everyone knows the Ramban. When you eat, when you drink, you have relationships, you talk to people, refine the physical activities that you do. This is the Ramban. Of course, every person is required on his own level to raise the bar. Listen to this. You learn in Parashat Kitei said the story of Ben Sorer Umore. This is a teenager, around 13. And the Psukim are describing, says the Ibn Ezra and the Ramban, you hear, that this little kid was over on the mitzvah of Kedoshim Tiyu. And he asked himself, this kid? The Torah demands even from a young kid, to try to elevate himself to a much higher level. Again, not to be like great luminaries, but on your own little 13 years old, eat a little nicer. Don't steal and buy meat. Don't steal and buy wine. It's very important. And the Rishonim are saying it. That the little kid is over al Kedoshim Tiyu. What is a Kedoshim Tiyu? This kid, on his own level, this is what we are raised. It's the way you eat, the amount you eat, what do you eat, how much do you eat, how often do you eat. כך כתוב ברמב"ן. This is really the expectations in every area of life. So, Larry, I got today my phone and it was set. So tomorrow morning, I'll try to teach on the 494. If not, we'll do it by
What do you mean
phone.
464?
464.
Because I have I understand that. The same number that you, no, not the same number that you did here, but my old number, yeah, I still have. So tomorrow morning at about 7:15, 7:20, because they start to pray at 7. I'll be there with positive tefillin. I'll try to pray earlier, then I'll go to a room, and I tested it in school, everything is fine, but you know,
I thought we were supposed to learn tonight. Weren't you supposed to be away tonight or something? Was it-
what?
Weren't you
I'm
supposed
going.
to?
My grandson is here, so I'm going now.
You're driving right now.
To Lakewood. I'll sleep there tomorrow morning. You put it tefillin, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, you got a
I'll
nice
be there.
hour drive right now, hour and a half at least.
Thank God he's driving, and I'll come back with the bus tomorrow.
Wait a minute, the grandson is putting on tefillin, better not be driving.
Different. I'm assuming it's a different grandson.
Yeah, I'm thinking, my life is,
No.
I'm
Okay.
sure not.
Okay,
Joke.
thank you very much. Laila Tov, everyone.
With him, only smachot, Rabbi. Probably.
Amen.
Thank you.
Mabruk, Rabbi. Shabbat shalom.